I'm Tom Spears from Post Media. I'm out in the woods today to ask kind of a silly sounding question. How could the tens of thousands of wild turkeys all over eastern Ontario and West Quebec possibly do any harm to a great big strong forest like this one? So any forest has a high leafy canopy up top, coming down to big branches and trunks, and finally down to the understory, the little stuff, saplings and scrub kind of bushes. And then the interesting part, the forest floor. That's where it all starts. Now this doesn't look very exciting. It just looks like old leaves, the kind of stuff that you would throw away at home, rake it up, throw it away. But this is a very, very biologically active part of the forest because a lot is going on here at once, especially if you look under the surface. On the top, you got this year's leaves. Underneath that, some of last year's leaves that haven't really decayed yet, they're halfway there. And then as you continue to go down, you get all this very organic, rich stuff. It looks a little like peat moss, but it isn't peat moss. And you have to go down probably, well, I'm hitting a rock here, but you probably have to go down about 6 inches before you hit real soil. That forest floor is providing a perfect place for new seeds to grow. It also has a lot of the little creepy crawly things, invertebrates, grubs, slugs, all kinds of things like that, that are actually good for a forest, that help decompose the old stuff, recycle that nutrition back into a form that new growing trees can use. Now, along come a couple of guys at the University of Pittsburgh, Walter Carson and Michael Chips, and they go for a walk in the woods and they find that in areas where there are a lot of deer, but also areas with a lot of wild turkeys, the turkeys are chewing up this stuff. They're raking it with their claws. They got big long hooked claws like this. They rake it away, and you get 30 to 40 square meter patches of absolutely bare soil, all the organic stuff ripped out of it, all the little grubs and slugs and salamanders and invertebrates vanished as well. And what you get then is an area where oak trees, beech trees, other things that produce nuts can't germinate. You can get poison ivy growing, you can get some trees like sugar maples, but you're going to lose maybe a lot of the forest. It's still a maybe, but it's a question mark, and it's the result of what happens when you take a species that isn't really native to our country, throw it out there into the environment and say, boy, I really hope this is a good idea. For Post Media, I'm Tom Spears.